Welcome, one and all, to Live from America. Thank you guys so much for joining in tonight. Um, wow, do we got? I got a great show put together for you tonight. We're gonna have some great conversation. I cannot wait to discuss some things. Talk about some stuff that happened today and really have a wonderful conversation among Christians and among conservatives. So thank you for joining in. This is Live from America. I am your ever so humble, ever so God-fearing and God-loving host, Jeremy Herrell. I want to give some live shout outs to those that are popping in and wait for some more to get to be notified. So I want to give some shout outs to Amanda Wiley from Central PA. By the way, we have a lot of people who watch from PA, just to let you know. Trista Gregory from Vermont, my next door neighbor. How you doing? Ashley Jean from Southern Illinois. How Southern? How Southern Illinois? Like Menard Southern, all the way down by Paducah, Kentucky. We got Randy Tinch in the building. How you doing, Randy? Deborah Soren from Jersey. Thank you for joining in. We have Heather Cosper also from Pennsylvania. Pam Steckman from Missouri. How you doing? Angela Baker says, shout out for me, please. All the way from South Carolina, South Kakalaki. I mean, we can say that, right? Because I know they say North Kakalaki. We can say South Kakalaki, can't we? Adam McPhee, how you doing? Thank you for joining in. Buddy Sims from Arkansas again. Chris Ambrose. Jan Martini. What a great last name, Jan Martini. Debbie Tipton from Camarillo, California, or maybe Camarillo. I guess it depends on where you're from. James Dillon, good friend. How you doing, buddy? From Tennessee. I'll be in Tennessee this weekend. Jay Muller from Texas. I want to give a shout out to Carrie Dirks, who says she never gets a shout out. Carrie, there's your shout out. I hope you heard that. And Carolyn White as well. Carolyn, how are you? I appreciate you joining in tonight. Marta from Long Island, New York. And let's give a couple more here. Laura Beth from Nashua. That's not too far from me. It's about an hour south of me, if even that. Nashua, New Hampshire. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate that. And let's see, one more. Pamela Crook says, hello, Jeremy. Well, how you doing, Pamela? It's great to have you in tonight. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, before we really get started into the conversation that I really want to have tonight, we can't start the show. We just cannot start the show without giving our love and our honor to Jesus Christ. And as I've been saying throughout the day, that even the most, I'm sure there's many Christians in here who are more well-versed in the Bible and scripture than I am, because I didn't grow up that way. I'm a relatively new Christian. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure, like me, you all fall short every single day because we are in the flesh. And we want to make sure that we give our thanks and our honor to God and thank him and put him first before we do any shows, before we talk about anything, even if it is the topic of the Bible. We want to make sure that we give our love and honor to God first. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we do every night here on Live from America, let's get started. We're going to read first from Jesus Calling, which is a wonderful devotional. If you don't know, I know a lot of people do, and I know a lot of people who've really been close to the show know that I read this during the nighttime hours, and then I move into the Bible where it references. But this is what it looks like: Jesus Calling. You can get it almost anywhere. This is pretty old now. It's kind of getting rickety, but we got a few of these at home, and this has really helped me. I mean, I know this isn't the word, but it is devotional that helped me go to the word. And I know there's a lot of people who have messaged me, thousands of people who said that this has helped them also get closer to the word. So Ron Scepter, shout out. He says, well, there you go, Ron. All right, so it says February 18th, year of our Lord, 2021. Here we go. I am with you. These 4 words, I am with you. These 4 words are like a safety net, protecting you from falling into despair. Because you are human, you will always have ups and downs in your life experience. But the promise of my presence limits how far down you can go. Sometimes you may feel as if you are in a free fall, when people or things you had counted on let you down. Yet, as soon as you remember that I am with you, your perspective changes radically. Instead of bemoaning your circumstances, you can look to me for help. You recall that not only am I with you, but I am holding you by your right hand. I guide you with my counsel, and afterward I will take you into glory. This is exactly the perspective you need, the reassurance of my presence and the glorious hope of heaven. And that's referencing Psalm 73, 23, and 24. So we go to Psalm 73, 23, and 24, and it reads this: Nevertheless, I am continually with you. You have held me by my right hand. You will guide me with your counsel, and afterward receive me to glory. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this really hit home for me tonight. Okay, because our first topic, and you know what? Here's what I want to do. I know you're not used to seeing this, but I want to take my glasses off because I want to talk to you face to face, eye to eye. So I know the eyes are the windows to the soul, and I want you to really get where I'm coming from with this discussion. Okay? I see Holly says white supremacist. Thank you, Holly. Thank you for saying such a derogatory thing while we're speaking about the Lord. Maybe this is a perfect reason why you're here. So earlier, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about the ever so high rate of suicide in this country when it came to young children. Okay? Since the pandemic started, since the COVID-19 pandemic started, and you know how I feel about that, youth suicide is up, ladies and gentlemen, 145%. We discussed this on today's show. And in that segment, I was talking about how parents really need to get involved. Even from single parent homes, it's very important for parents to be involved with their children so that they can educate them a little bit better about life, about how precious life is. Keep them away from the TV, keep them away from the Ritalin, keep them away from the prescription drugs that everybody wants to put them on just because they don't know how to deal with them. Okay? This is what we were talking about. And then I made a statement where I said that we want to make sure that we keep them away from that ultimate decision, because that ultimate decision means that they're not here no more. And the youth doesn't really understand that that's a one and done. That's a one and done decision that you make. And we wanted to keep them from that. And then I made the statement because I think that you don't even go to heaven when you commit suicide. Okay? That statement right there, where I said, I think you don't even get to heaven if you commit suicide, was, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be frank with you. I'm gonna be candid with you. I'm gonna be real with you right now. To me, God directed me to make that statement so that I could have this discussion with you tonight, and so that I could learn what I learned today. Okay? This is the wonderful thing about being a Christian and walking with God and walking with Jesus and wanting to be a better person. This is exactly why I took my glasses off, because I wanted you to see in my eyes how serious I am about this. Okay? I learned so much today, and I think it was God's way of teaching me. I think it was God's way of opening a door for me that I did not know existed. Okay, because when I was younger, I mean, I didn't grow up in a Bible home or a Christian home, but we grew up believing in God. You know what I mean? And I was always taught that if you committed suicide, that it was like the ultimate disgrace. It was like the ultimate disrespect to God, and that you would go to hell. And I think a lot of people are taught that when they're younger. But boy, did I get some, I won't call it backlash, because nobody was really rude. Nobody was really mean. The people that reached out to me, the thousands, by the way, of people that reached out to me today, and I'm sorry if I didn't get a chance to get directly to you, but I did try. The thousands of people that reached out to me today made me see things it almost opened up my eyes. Okay. And I wasn't saying that your kid, definitely your child or your friend, or, because I've had people in my family commit suicide, multiple people. I know what it's like firsthand. I know the feeling. I know the hurt. But where it started today was a lady, I won't say her name. She emailed me and she said, my 11-year-old son was in the room when I was watching your show earlier, and we watch your show twice a day. I think she said that part anyway. Maybe not. I get a lot of those. But she said, my 11-year-old son was in the room and his older brother committed suicide. And when you said that, I had to remove him from the room. Okay. And I thought about that for a second. I emailed her back. I did. And I told her why I said it. And I told her, I said, please excuse me. I'm relatively new Christian here, but this is the way I was taught. This is what I thought. And she made a great point. She really did. And so many other people made the same point. If I smoke cigarettes, I know that that's not good for me, right? Now, this is just an analogy. This is just a comparison. And it may not be a perfect comparison, okay? But it is a comparison. If I smoke cigarettes, the chances of me getting cancer are probably a lot higher, right? If I smoke cigarettes my whole life, like my grandma did, and talk like this, and she ended up, dying, and the cigarettes were, 3 packs a day for 40 years, of course that's going to do something to you. Does that make you go to hell because you smoked cigarettes and got lung cancer? If you knew Jesus, if you accepted Jesus into your heart, if you trust Jesus fully, you know what I mean? Now I was coming at it from the idea that suicide is murder and thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not commit murder. Okay, and there is an argument for that. However, we don't know what these people were going through. I don't know what the people in my family were going through when they committed suicide. I don't know what they were going through. I don't know if the mental illness took over. You know what I mean? And we can't, I didn't want to, I'm not saying that I was judging anybody who did commit suicide. And it is only God who can judge those who do that. We don't know what was in their heart when they died. We don't know what was the last moments that they seen or what they said. We don't know if there was a conversation with God. We don't know if they were saved at the last minute. We don't know that stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to, and same thing with people who overeat. Look at me. I'm not a skinny guy. I'm considered obese in America. You know what I mean? I'm considered an obese person. What if the doctor told me for 20 years, you keep eating, you're going to get diabetes and you're probably going to die. And then I keep eating, and then I get diabetes and then I die. Okay. Hopefully I don't get a bunch of people that have diabetes message me now and say, that's not true, but you get what I'm saying, right? You do get what I'm saying. It's very, very difficult to say that if you commit, and I always believed that. I always thought that. I didn't know. And I'm not saying that I was right or I was wrong or you were right or you were wrong. But when I thought about it and I prayed about it today, where God led me and what God said to me in my heart was this. And I never really looked at it like this. And how could I overlook it like this? Is that we are all God's children. I say this every day. I say, you are a child of God. No weapon formed against you can ever prosper, right? We're all God's children. God loves me the same way he loves Nancy Pelosi, the same way the same way he loves Chuck Schumer, the same way he loves Donald Trump, the same way he loves Ellen P. and Patty Floyd, the same way he loves Marita Cogburn. Okay, the same way he loves Sherry Romeo, the same way he loves a murderer, the same way he loves a sinner. We all sin. None of us are perfect. We're in the flesh. I fall short thousands of times in a week. Thousands of times in a week I fall short and I drop to my knees, and every time I know I'm doing wrong, I say I'm sorry. But the one thing I overlooked was the compassion and the forgiveness that Jesus has for us. Okay? So I just really wanted to talk about this tonight. I really wanted to touch on this tonight. Not in any way, shape, or form, ladies and gentlemen, did I mean to say anything bad about anybody, because like I said, I'm very close to suicide too. I know what it feels like. I do. But when I started putting myself in the position of that little boy who ran out of the room today, or when I started thinking about God's forgiveness and God's mercy and God's compassion and God's kindness and God's love for us, it started making me think that, wow, how could I have said something like that? You know what I mean? How could I have said something like that? Because I don't know. I truly don't know. It doesn't reference it in the Bible. Where it did reference it, where I thought, was thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not murder. But there's a little bit of a difference between taking your own life because of mental illness or something that you just you're in so much despair that you don't know what to do with yourself. And this is maybe your only way out. Maybe you think you're going to heaven and you need to get out of here and you want to be closer with Jesus. We don't know what's going on in these people's minds. It's different than going out and taking somebody else's life. It's different than going out and shooting or stabbing or killing somebody else. Somebody said they didn't see my show today on Telegram. I forgot to put it on there because I was doing this all day. And so I'm sorry. I was short on news and I was short on I will put it on Telegram. I'll put them both on Telegram when this is done. For Holly, who's in here, Holly, I pray for you. I really do. I know you think we're all white supremacists and all that stuff because we voted for Donald Trump, but you're in the right place, Holly. You're spending your time here, and God has kept you here for 14 minutes and now 58 seconds for a reason. And I appreciate that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now we will start live from America and start the news. And Holly, you might want to stick around because you might learn something. All right? Thank you guys. Oh, seriously, this is what I love about this show. You would never see Sean Hannity. You would not that I'm comparing myself with them. I'm comparing myself with people who do the news and people who have Christian show or conservative shows. You would never see somebody get that in depth with anything because they're afraid to do this. They're afraid to have this conversation. They're afraid to have their feet held to the fire. But I think this is exactly what we need. I think this is exactly what we need. This is what I needed today, ladies and gentlemen. I needed this today. And you guys stuck with it, and you guys helped me, and you guys got me to this today. This would never happen on anybody else's show. You guys make this show. This is your show as much as it is mine. You guys got me here. And this, to me, this right here, this kind of interactive commentary and discussion helps people grow in their faith, and it's exactly what we need to be doing. And I just want to thank you all for your love, your compassion, and your determination to make this the show that it is. Now, we got about 25 minutes to get through the rest of all my news, so let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to compare something to you. Now, people like Holly that's in here. Holly, I'm glad you're staying. I'm glad you're staying because you call us white supremacists for backing and supporting Donald Trump, correct? Let's have a discussion here. Well, we have been talking about what your side, the side of the left, has been doing to Rush Limbaugh since he passed away. Since we've heard the news, the very sad news of Rush Limbaugh dying, we've heard you call him bigot. We've heard you call him racist. We've heard you say rotten piss. We've heard you say rotten hell, rest in piss, all these mean, disgusting, gross things. But you would be the same person that says Donald Trump says absolute, terrible, destructive, and horrible things, right? Well, I want to play a video for you. You'll only hear the audio, and I got it turned up so everybody can hear it. You'll only hear the audio here, but I want you to hear what Donald Trump said when he found out that the late, great Justice Ginsburg, and I'm calling her great only for Holly's sake because I think she did some terrible things, but she also did some amazing things. I want to play an audio track for you of what Donald Trump said himself when he found out for the first time. Are we there, guys? Hold on. We're back. We're back. That's all right. I don't know what happened. I have no clue what happened. We're going to stay right here until everybody comes back. We're good. Can you guys hear me now? Can you see me now? We'll wait until you guys can hear me and see me back again. Yep, we're back. Okay. I know a lot of people left, so we're going to give people a chance to come back in. Okay. Wow. I don't know what happened. What timing, though, huh? Boy, what timing. They really didn't want that out, did they? I see a lot of people starting to come back in, so we'll give it a second, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, that's what happens when you deal with technology. That's what happens when you deal with technology, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it was because I took my glasses off, right? Maybe I took my glasses off and everybody was like, we don't know who that is. Let's destroy the feed, quick. It's an imposter. It's not him. No, we're here. I see people. It says, hold on. I want to give everybody a chance to come back in before we play this, all right? You're good. Stevie D's back in. All right, good. Everybody says you froze. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody said it's still cutting in and out. Looks like somebody said, yeah, everybody's like, you're back. All right, good here. All right. So, like I said, let's kind of restructure what we were talking about there for a minute. Now that we're starting to get everybody back in, again, I don't know what happened. Not sure. I'm glad you all stayed with us, though, okay? All right. Somebody said wonky, froze again, buffering, in and out, cutting in and out. Everybody's all good. Okay, we're going to keep going with it, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to play this again. And this is maybe Holly is still in here, and hopefully she is, because I want her to see this, okay? I want everybody, ladies and gentlemen, to hear what's about to happen. Now, for those who didn't get to hear what I said, I'm just going to just kind of reiterate what I said, okay? When we found out the news that Rush Limbaugh died, the left, Hollywood, people like Holly, I'm sure, who's calling us white supremacists in here, okay? They all said mean, terrible things about Rush Limbaugh. Not a single one of them had anything nice to say, not even the politicians themselves, okay? Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. All right. So now that we're back, I want to play the very, very, very stark difference in what President Trump said, who you say is a racist, who you say we're white supremacists because we support. Okay. This was the very first time that he heard that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had passed away. And I really wanted you to hear this so that you could see how brainwashed you really are, thinking that we are all such white supremacists and terrible people. Listen, you'll hear it. It's coming.
She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time. She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman. Whether you agreed or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life. I'm actually saddened to hear that. I am saddened to hear that. Thank you very much.
Let me see if I can. There was music behind that one. Let me see if I can find one that doesn't have music.
The new My WW
Hold on.
gives you more of what you need to help.
Video will play after the ad.
More simplicity with the pleasure.
Hold on. I want to see if we can play it without the music behind it, okay? Because we really need people to understand this here.
Trump reacting with surprise upon learning about the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg Friday night.
Still music. I don't know where.
She just died? Wow. I didn't know that. You're telling me now for the first time. She led an amazing life. What else can you say? She was an amazing woman. Whether you agreed or not, she was an amazing woman who led an amazing life. I'm actually saddened to hear that. I am saddened to hear that.
I am saddened to hear that, he said. He said, I am saddened to hear that. She was an amazing woman. She led an amazing life. He did not call her names. He did not say anything rude. He did not tell her to rot in hell. He did not tell her to rot in piss. Sorry for the language. He didn't say any of that stuff. He said what any normal human being would say, ladies and gentlemen, when somebody passes away, when somebody dies. Now, the reason I wanted to play that tonight was exactly for people like Holly. Now, Holly, I don't mean to keep harping on you, but you're the only one in here that I've seen that was calling us racist and stuff because we support such a compassionate man. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think if people on the left who are doing this and who actually condone this kind of behavior, I think if you show some people that, they might just have enough compassion in their hearts to say, wow, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe everything that CNN tells me or MSNBC tells me about Orange Man being bad isn't so bad after all. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted to play that tonight, because that man is so compassionate. That man is so loving. Yes, he might call people nicknames. So do I. Yes, he might pick on the left. So do I. Okay? There's a line. And I spoke about this earlier and I spoke about it yesterday. There is a line, ladies and gentlemen. And that line right there, that man would never cross that line as much as the left crosses it daily and then points finger at somebody else. They never admit they're wrong. They never admit that that was a compassionate statement to make. Now, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she actually always voted to kill babies and said it was fine to kill babies all the way up until birth. Now, she might have been an amazing woman because she broke glass ceilings, but she actually, in our view, in a Christian's view, she voted to kill babies. Don't you think that there was a lot of mean things we could have said about her when she died? Now, back when I was doing everything on Facebook, the day she died, I can remember it perfectly, ladies and gentlemen. And all of you, including myself, what did we say? We said rest in peace, and we're praying for her family. I seen an outpouring of love from Christian conservatives about a woman who passed away who had anything but Christian conservative values. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between the left in 2021 and the right. Why do you think I choose to be on the right? Call me white supremacist all you want. Call me all the names in the book you want, because I know, God knows, and all the people that are watching this show know what it's really like to be a compassionate, Christian, conservative American. I rest my case on that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the amnesty bill. This is something that a lot of people aren't talking about. Why? Because it's massively unpopular amongst the American citizens. This new amnesty bill that the left is driving through, the resident corn pop and his merry band of know nothings are ramming through. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just speak a little bit about this amnesty bill for you, so you kind of get the gist of what this really is. This amnesty bill will give work permits, basically citizenship, because once they have the work permits, they're never, ever, ever, ever at risk of ever leaving again when it comes to what they have this bill, how this bill is written. They're going to give work permits to all illegal aliens who have been here since the first of the year. Now, it's not retroactive, which is weird. I think that's a completely different part of how they're going to bring 2 or 3 different bills together. But this first bill will give work permits, basically citizenship, to all illegal aliens who have been here since the first of the year, give them the right to vote, and this work permit will actually make them have all of the same luxuries that you have as an American citizen. And the bill also gives them free access to attorneys if there's any legal cases that they're involved in, or any legal cases that make them at risk for being booted back out of the country. It gives them free access to high-profile attorneys that you and I pay for. It will completely be taxpayer funded, ladies and gentlemen. Now, is that fair? Let me ask you this: what about all the immigrants who come here legally? What about all the people from South America, the people from Mexico, the people the Hispanic community that has dreams of coming here and comes here the right way? What about everybody that's trying to make a living? What about the people that are living in Florida and California who are here legally, who are trying to make a living, who are trying to grow businesses for their family? What does that mean for them? Well, I'll tell you what that means for them, ladies and gentlemen. It means that they're going to be out of jobs, because all of these people that they're granting citizenship to, and all of the people that are coming in through the border and from the caravans and stuff, they're going to have access to lawyers. They're going to have access. They're going to be able to vote. They're going to get driver's license. They get everything that you and I get. Now, as a human, I wish everybody in the world had the access to everything in the world. But I spoke about this earlier, and I said, listen, we need to fix our own foundation and with the people that are here right now, whether they're black, brown, white, purple, green. It doesn't matter what color they are. It doesn't matter what religion they are. It doesn't matter if they're tall, short, fat, skinny. It doesn't matter. What matters is fixing the problems that we have here right now from people who are here legally right now. The only reason they're doing this, ladies and gentlemen, the only reason they're doing this is for votes, for future votes. That's it. That's the only reason they're doing this. It's mind-blowing that the taxpayers are going to have to fund their legal cases in court, and they're not even citizens of the country. I don't know how the bill could be shot down. Somebody said, let's hope it gets shot down. I don't know how it can be shot down. The only way that this can be shot down is at a state level. The only way this can be shot down is if states band together, red states, even if they're blue states and they don't agree with this, because there's a lot of blue states who shouldn't agree with this either. Ladies and gentlemen, the only way that this stops from happening is if states create their own executive actions and their own executive orders not to comply with the federal the federal bill, the federal executive orders that President Biden does, or anything else. It has to be at a state level, because they're going to ram it through at a federal level. They're going to ram it through at a federal level. There's no way they're not going to. They have all branches of government right now. All right. So somebody said, let's talk about crooked Cuomo. We've been talking a lot about crooked Cuomo lately. So we'll lay off that one for a minute, because we got a lot of other things to talk about. All right. Everybody's been wondering what Sidney Powell is up to. What is Sidney Powell up to? Is she in big trouble with this massive lawsuit from Dominion? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play you something right now, another audio, but I'm going to make it so you can hear it a lot better. This is Sidney Powell All right. And this is her latest interview where she's talking about Dominion suing her and how it's actually good news. And she almost baited them to sue her. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. Ready? See if we can.
Lawsuit that you're facing, I know you're limited about what you can speak in terms of the Dominion. And we know what you've been saying is accurate because I have verified it. I've checked it out. We know the origins are Venezuela. We know that it's a corruptible, manipulable, malleable piece of machinery and software. Again, I know you're restrained and constrained in many areas about what you can speak about. But when this initially happened and people were attacking you, I said to them, you know, there's this crazy thing called discovery in the process of lawsuits. And I said, what if this is exactly a la Muhammad Ali and rope-a-dope? What if this is exactly what Sidney Powell wanted all along, so she could begin discovery and get to the truth?
Yes, I can't wait to take the deposition of Eric Coomer and other Dominion executives and people on the ground in Atlanta, and the high executive of Dominion who was in Detroit the night of the election running the Dominion operations there. There were Dominion people everywhere doing all this, and a Tom Feehan in Georgia, lots of people that need to be deposed in the process of this litigation. We can't wait to get at it.
So do you see yourself as an attorney piecing this thing together, not only for trial purposes, but for the American people, so we have a clear picture of what transpired?
Oh, yes. That's why we started defendingtherepublic.org to pursue the litigation needed on behalf of the American people, because the Justice Department has failed to do its job among every other institution in our government right now to expose the truth and prosecute the actual crimes that occurred.
So is this going to be one of these cases that's going to for years and years and years, maybe even beyond 2024? How do you see this thing playing out in terms of any kind of time frame?
I don't think it's going to take all that long, Graham, because the discovery is going to be devastating. I mean, we already have a new report out of New Hampshire where 300 votes roughly per Republican disappeared.
Yep. And I spoke about that because that's right here in my state of New Hampshire, ladies and gentlemen. And we know now, because of hand counts, because of recounts and by hand, that these Dominion voting machines did exactly that. And think about this, ladies and gentlemen. Think about this. This entire charade, this entire reality TV show of Dominion threatening to sue everybody for billions and even trillions or whatever it is. The number was, when I saw what they were suing for, I'm like, who even has that kind of money? Nobody has that kind of money, ladies and gentlemen. It was only to shut them up. It was only to scare them so badly that they would shut up and they would not continue to talk about this. But people like Lynn Wood, he said, this is him basically putting it all on the line. Sidney Powell, this is her saying, I'm putting it all on the line. You want to fight? Let's fight. You're not going to scare me from not speaking the truth. You're not going to scare me from not giving the truth and the evidence to the people about what happened. Everybody's been talking about, well, what about the election? We can't just forget about it. We can't just forget about it. But people like you and me, there's not much we can do. I mean, I'm doing what I can do. I'm speaking with different state legislators, and I'm speaking with my own Republican Party here in New Hampshire, and I do this. You know what I mean? But beyond that, I'm not a lawyer. There's not much I can do. But people like that right there, people like that, they can do something. Adam Nelson says, shout me out. Well, there you go, Adam Nelson. There's your shout out. That's why I love having an interactive show. Sidney Powell, she's not backing down. And can you imagine how scared Dominion must be right now? Because they know in order for them to sue her like they want to, all of this is going to come out. And I just, you know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is a wonderful, wonderful time to be alive. As much as you don't feel like we're winning every day, stuff like this makes me feel like we're winning. Okay? Because the truth shall always set you free, and the truth will always come out. And fighters like her, fighters like Lynn Wood, you can think Lynn Wood is crazy all you want. But I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, he's fighting. He's fighting. Hey, Craig Moore, he's fighting. Somebody in the comments. They're all fighting. And I'll tell you what, if this was her tactic the entire time, what a tactic, huh? If this was her tactic, what a tactic. What a strategy to bait them in, like rope-a-dope, like he said, to bait them in so that the truth could come out. Now, here's my question. Here's my question, and this is something that I will research and try to find out for you as well. What happens when the truth is out there? What happens when irrefutable proof in a court of law? Now, we know all those courts that dismissed all those cases put forth by Trump and his attorneys. They weren't even allowed to show the evidence in 90-something% of the cases. They weren't based on merit. They were based on something stupid like standing or timing. It had nothing to do with showing the evidence. This will get them to show the evidence. Ooh, get your popcorn ready, ladies and gentlemen, because I can't wait to see how this goes down. She is brilliant. All right, moving on. We'll talk about that something even. Oh, I don't want to talk about this, but we have to. Okay, House Democrats have introduced a bill called H.R. 484. And it's basically a bill to make it so that President Trump can't run for office again. But really, it's called the No Glory for Hate Act. And it says that any president who's impeached twice can no longer run for president again. Do you know what I have to say about that? You know what I have to say about that? That's what I have to say about that. That is exactly what I have to say about that. Want to know why? Because he might have been impeached by the House, the swamp donkey Democrats. He might have been impeached by them twice, but he was not convicted either time. It was thrown out both times. You might say he's impeached forever, but he's actually not. So I don't know how you're going to get this through. It's not, you'll lose again. Listen to me, Nancy, $12,000 ice cream, stretch face Armstrong. Listen to me. You will fail again. You will fail harder than Crooked Hillary failed when she ran for president twice. It's not going to happen. Just face the music. Chuck Schumer, face the music. Adam Schiff, face the music. You cannot beat Trump. Knock, knock. Who's there? Owen. Owen who? 0-2, just like that meme that's going around. the No Glory for Hate Act. Get out of here. How about the No Ice Cream for You Act because she bought it all? Like, come on, man. It's so stupid. It's such a. They're trying anything they can. Instead of legislating, instead of passing laws that help America, they're passing bills and laws that hurt America, and they're continuing to try and take down somebody that they can never, ever win against. They've never beat him. The only time they did beat him, they had to cheat. They had to cheat to win. And they still aren't going to win in the end. They won the battle, but they're not going to win the war. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on, Maryland becomes the first state to tax Google and Facebook's online ads. Shout out to Maryland. Shout out to Maryland. So you have states that are now fining Facebook and Twitter for any kind of censoring they do to any kind of candidate that happens to be a Republican. You have more states than just Florida, too. Other states have jumped onto that. And now you have states that are taxing them for their online ads. Shout out Maryland, huh? Maryland. I mean, I don't know really much about Maryland, but that's pretty cool, right? So we got to take our wins when we can get them. Charge them, charge them, charge them. Because when you break the piggy bank, then you break them. The only thing that they ever care about is money, money, money. Ladies and gentlemen, break the bank, you break them. All right. Speaking of Facebook, let's talk about them for a minute. They will now start, they put out a statement saying they will now start removing content, basically removing your page or suspending you for talking about climate change if you are a climate change denier. Remember, it used to be global warming until we found out that we actually had cooling periods after the global warming. So then they had to change the name to climate change, and now it's climate change, and now you're a climate change denier. So if you talk about COVID, if you have an opinion about the election, if you have an opinion about the steel, or if you have an opinion about climate change, they will remove you now from Facebook. They put out that statement saying that. Okay, and we already know what's going down with Australia and Google and Facebook there, and the big fight they're having there. And it's these people, I don't know who these people think they're God. I don't get it. These people must think that they are God, but they are not. There's only one God, and he doesn't approve of this kind of stuff. I can tell you that. Speaking of draconian and people who think they're God, and people who think they're dictators and that they're the kings and queens, in 2020 and in 2021, more executive orders came from governors and now President Biden than at any other time in history. And matter of fact, it's a huge spike, like 200% in some cases, a huge spike in executive orders. We live in a country now, ladies and gentlemen, where it's not for the people and by the people, because you have governors, basically blue governors, and some red governors, don't get me wrong, and President Biden actually literally, all they're doing is they're ruling from executive order. They're not putting through any kind of votes. They're not putting any kind of viable bills together that actually have discussion and debate. In the last year, we've had more executive action than at any other time in history, because these people have let their power go to their head. That's the problem. They've let the power go to their heads. And it's very sickening, ladies and gentlemen. It's something we need to get a control on. And the only way we're going to do it is local and state level, period. I've been saying it for the last month and a half. Local, state level. Okay? Jacqueline says you are spot on. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that since Biden has taken office, 1 million jobs have been lost, and countless, tens of thousands, I think it's even up to 60 or 70,000 people have died of COVID-19 since Biden has taken office. So not only does he have blood on his hands now, like Trump did, right? Trump had blood on his hands, right? Right? Not only does he have blood on his hands, but he's also lost 1 million jobs in a month. 1 million jobs. The jobless claims were 800 and some odd thousand, way worse than expected, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said earlier, do you remember when President Trump was in office? Every time we got jobless claims, they were lower than we expected. And in 1 month, we've lost 1 million jobs. I don't care who you are. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care if you can scream white supremacist and bigot from the top of your lungs. Numbers don't lie. This isn't the white supremacy math. This isn't Common Core math. This is normal, everyday, real math. Okay? This is regular math. 1 + 1 = 2. And by regular math, it says that 1 million jobs have been lost since Resident Corn Pop has been in charge. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you live under Democrat rule. This is what you get: a terrible economy, nobody working, everybody depending on the government, and nothing getting done. Can we say we told you so? I don't want to say it like that because we're all suffering, but can we say we told you so? I don't know. All right, moving on. We only got a couple more things, and I know we're running out of time here. South Carolina, we talked about how they were going to pass a bill. I think we spoke about this on yesterday's show at 11 o'clock. We spoke about how South Carolina was going to start moving towards outlawing abortion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the GOP has passed that bill, and the Democrats angrily stormed out. It is called the Heartbeat Abortion Act, and the Democrats freaked out, got mad, acted like petulant children like they always do because they're not allowed to kill babies anymore, and they stormed out, and now they are threatening to sue. Ladies and gentlemen, they are threatening to sue to stop this decision from happening. They would rather sue and spend taxpayer dollars to fight in order to make it so that a baby cannot be born. Way to go, South Carolina GOP. I'm so glad that people are finally standing up. And for you Democrats who got so angry and so mad and started pounding your fists and kicking your feet, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, because whatever happened to my body, my choice? Whatever happened to that? Way to go, South Carolina. Another good piece of news: the GOP in Georgia has a bill out that would make a transgender youth competition. Basically, you have to compete per the gender that you were when you were born on your birth certificate. So if that bill goes through, then no longer will you be able to say, you know what, I'm a woman now, or you know what, I'm a man now. You will compete in athletics, at least at an athletic level anyway. You will compete as what you were born as biologically from God himself. Shout out to Georgia GOP for finally doing something there as well. And one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to touch on this. If you go to the Instagram account, hold on, let me bring this up real quick. If you go to the Instagram account, I just saw this today. You're going to want to hear this. So hold on, just hold tight. If you go to the Instagram account that says Trump DeSantis 24, and that's all one word, Trump DeSantis 24. It now has 150,000 followers on it. And at first I thought it was fake. At first I thought it wasn't real, okay? But then I saw who was following it. And you want to know who's following it? Rich Cannell is following it, and it is his verified account. Okay, so when I looked at that, I was like, and then I started reading, and it says breaking: Trump and DeSantis, just like we spoke about 2 days ago on the show, speculating on a POTUS VP bid. They would plan to run on America First policies, unlike what the rhinos in Congress are currently doing. Their official Instagram page is Trump DeSantis 24, where they will be posting election updates, etc. Exclusive details on the story, including rally dates, locations, have been posted on their page. So I went to their page and I liked it. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, it looks real legit to me because there's some blue checkmark people who are following it and people who are close to the Trump campaign. And can you imagine what that would look like? Can you imagine Trump DeSantis 2024? Now, I want Trump to come back a long time before that, but we might have to live in reality, ladies and gentlemen. And if that's the case, Trump DeSantis, and if you look at the picture too, let me show you the picture. It's got both their faces on it. How cool is that, huh? What a ticket. What a team, huh? Trump DeSantis 2024. Woo! We got a long time till we get there, but wouldn't that be a sight to see? Can you imagine the rallies? Can you imagine the rallies? I mean, Pence was boring. As much as I really wanted Pence to do the right thing, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted him so badly to do the right thing. As a fellow Christian, I wanted him to do the right thing, but he was so boring and monotone. Can you imagine DeSantis? Trump? So anyway, go follow the Instagram page, whether it's real or whether it's not. I know that Rick Grinnell is following it, and he's close to President Trump. So unless he just likes to follow things that aren't real, I don't know. Either way, go follow that page on Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Oh, I want to show you one more thing before we go. You want to see something cool? You know how my saying is, I like to call them swamp donkeys. Well, a friend of mine is made me something. And I want to show it to you. You're going to love this. We're going to put this on the store, and this is either going to be bumper stickers or it's going to be a decal for your window of your car. One way or the other, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think of that? Swamp Donkey Democrats. Isn't that incredible? I know we probably won't make it a shirt. We might make it a shirt. But I thought that was incredible, and we got to talk about it, right? We got to talk about it. So anyway, visit jeremyherrell.com. Go to the store. We got a whole bunch of new stuff on the store. The store is finally back up with a company that said they will never ban us, which is wonderful. Go watch past videos, past podcasts, listen to some good music. Please consider becoming a one-time or a monthly donor. And I am finally got my CPAC credentials, ladies and gentlemen. I do have my press pass for CPAC next weekend. I cannot wait. And ladies and gentlemen, also, I will be in Tennessee this Saturday in Cookeville, Tennessee. You have to go to Tennessee Freedom Force Facebook page. You have to join the Facebook page in order to come and listen to me speak, and maybe we can hang out and meet. So if you're in Tennessee, you can't just show up. You have to go to the Tennessee Freedom Force page first, and you have to sign up so you can be vetted, just so you know that. Remember, there are right ways, there are wrong ways, but there's only one Yahweh. So stand up tall, keep your shoulders back, your chest out, and your head up high, because you are a child of God, and no weapon formed against you will ever prosper. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow morning for Live from America. I will not be doing a show tomorrow night because I will be in the air flying to Tennessee, and just to let you know, we're only doing a morning show tomorrow, okay? Thank you. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Bye-bye.